Welcome, everyone, to A Certain Point Askew, the only Star Wars podcast that asked, does this shit?
Take two and action.
Does a Sith shit in the woods? Okay. I'm Jason the Ginger Jedi guy, broadcasting live from inside FACPaToid Studios. I'm going to calm it down here a little bit, a little excited. I am not alone. Please allow me to introduce your favorite wretched scum, scoundrels, and smugglers. Neighbor Cole from Corellia.
If you would have went with does a Sith shit in a stream, you would have had alliteration.
You know what?
Could have gone that way.
I always fail you.
You're a disappointment, to say the least.
Well, this will be my last show. It's been fun. 37 episodes. I appreciate you guys having me.
Listen, don't do this on air.
No,
right
I
now.
have
Listen.
to. I have to.
I don't
Everyone
wanna
needs to know.
fight.
I hope I win the Darksaber.
I can change. I will change. I swear to God. No, we really don't fight this way in real life. But thanks for...
It's usually you just stop talking to me for a couple of days because you've had enough.
Had to take a hard break.
Yeah.
It's been glorious vacation. Not having seen you lately. Thanks for having me on the show, Jason. Thanks for opening your humble FACPaToid Studios to me.
You're welcome.
It was safe travels on my way down here. I appreciate the hospitality.
No ruffians jumping out of the bushes?
No ruffians, no smugglers, no wretched scum or villains.
Good. I'm glad that you were safe.
Yep, I had my trusty laser sword on me just in case.
Good.
Manufactured from Dave Meyer.
Now, what would if you had to have like a name a laser sword? What would you name it?
Well, first thing that came in my head was labia sword, so I'd probably throw
Well, that's what we each have one of those.
the vagina monologues is what I'd call mine.
That's just your autobiography.
Just
the
out
early
there
years,
splitting motherfuckers in half.
Okay.
Because of
like a mall.
like a cavern. Cavernous.
Okay.
That was a long intro. I'm sure Matt's been patiently waiting over there in the
I
outer
really
rim.
like the unabridged versions. Must be amazing to this show.
Welcome to the show, our third micer. Number 3 on the mics, number 1 in our hearts.
Always.
Darth Mathias, a.k.a. Matt.
It is great to see you, comrades. I am excited to podcast this evening.
Was that Oleg?
This Visago. Your Oleg was better than my Visago.
Yeah, that's good.
Visago's got that Eastern European Russian feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say something of the...
He kind of covered quite a few bases there, so you can't be wrong.
Well.
Eastern European Russian feel.
Somewhere, that
like
planet Earth feel.
A lot of Asia.
Thanks for listening to our show. You can find all of our stuff at FromACertainPointAskew.com. You can find us on Twitter at FACPAPod. You can find, or you can email us, FACPAPod@gmail.com. We're part of the Podawan Podcast Network at Podawans, Podawans.
You know, let's give it a little tease here. If you want to tweet us on our own accounts, I am the Angry Ginger at S7EVN Days of Geek, and Neighbor Cole. They can find you on Twitter
At Neighbor Cole. That's Neighbor Cole. C-O-L-E.
Wow.
All right, I'm at Reasons Are. You're just going to cut me out there.
I mean, you run FACPA, so my fault.
And just so everyone's clear, he runs it with an iron fist. We're not allowed to touch the account.
Yeah.
Nope.
Or
Giving you the password you never signed in.
We gotta send him $1 every time we say FACPA. On the show today, we got a question of the week. Karabasting. Did I say that right?
Basting. But yeah, I like the
Karabasting?
basting, almost like a crate dragon callback.
Right, yeah.
Do you baste your crate dragon when you smoke it?
I'm always a chef, even when I'm not in the kitchen.
A great fucking karabasting technique would be apple cider vinegar, 2 parts, 1 part apple juice. You spray it all over the carrot.
And a little bit of low-thaw cat pee.
Gotta get that in there.
Just a little bit.
Just for authenticity.
Right, yeah.
So it's a real regional dialect flavor to it.
If it doesn't smell like grandma's stew, you're cooking it wrong.
We should do a fucking one of those Facebook videos where there's someone out in the woods cooking. It's with a piece of crate dragon meat.
Yes.
Yeah. You skin a loaf cat.
I like that. We'll be wearing nothing but like chef's aprons that have the FACPA logo on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just season it with urine. These guys are really going somewhere with this.
Got to have spice in there somewhere.
We got a lot more going on in the show than bad jokes. We got Star Wars Rebels Season 1, the second half. We're going to cover episodes 8 through 15. We got a little something in the Maul Bag, but we're not going to tell you what it is until we get there. And then we got a FACPAtoid coming up, and it is I am your carefully crafted spoiler alert.
If you play your cards right, you might get 2 FACPAtoids out of us this episode.
Wow.
We both got one.
Well, with Conversations last episode, I think there were 3. You're welcome.
Conversate for a few, and then a few we gonna do what we can do.
Sometimes I wonder if Matt's just like, you know what, I'm going to watch the show. Let's see what these guys can bring.
I've been throwing 90s rap lines out all night long. No one's picking them up.
We need
No,
you
I
in your
got that
spreadsheet.
one. I was just letting you go. I was letting you flow.
Didn't want to fucking
He was giving you respect.
Didn't want to jump in on my bars. Straight bars is my real name on the streets.
Why don't you spit some bars on that question of the week?
Yeah. Question of the week. I gotta rein it in. We have heard Zeb exclaim several times during Rebels the phrase "karabast," and I think Ezra picked it up a few times as well, right? For fun, let's guess the origin of the phrase/curse. Karabast.
Oh, okay.
So that's karabasting. I got an idea, a little joke, but I'll go last since you guys, unless you guys don't have anything.
I don't have anything right now.
I mean, in the context, it's almost like our version of crap. So maybe maybe when you take a gigantic Lasat dump, that's a karabast.
That's
Wow.
it's the indigenous term for feces on the planet of Lasat.
Just dropped a big karabast in the bathroom.
You're not going to want to go in there for at least 30, 40 parsecs. I felt that karabast was like a derivation of the word karablast, like, Hulk smash was like a catchphrase, karablast, like fucking hitting someone really hard. But then they changed it to karabast when they took the L in their loss to the Empire.
Oh, I thought you were going to expand on that and say karablast, like Cara Dune. I thought we were going to get into her again.
That's what that's what a Lucasfilm calls a firing. You've been karablasted.
Karablast his ass right the fuck out of my office, and don't let him get security in here. Don't let him take any of the fucking.
Get that HR. Get the box. Put her stuff in it. She's gone. So you're going to tell us more about it later? Is that what you said?
We got a little bit of doesn't really explain the origins, but a little backstory to karabast.
Cool. Nice.
So a little additional information.
And the way they poo?
And a little bit about, strangely enough, it ties into Lasat feces. Yep.
I'm always going to think of that when I have a big dump now.
I heard that they bring in Ewoks and that they use them for toilet paper.
Oh.
Yeah. That's not the best for their asses.
Does an Ewok shit in the woods? Right?
I don't know if a Sith does, but an Ewok does.
I feel like for it to get down the karabast level, the poo has got to be rising out of the water. You have to have full island status. So you got to really fill up the toilet bowl.
Okay.
And I have about 3 or 4 of those a week.
I wonder how many people make it past this segment.
Not many.
Probably the
unsubscribe.
The sick fuck Mike Laborn's probably just salivating right now.
He listens to the show while he's karablasting.
Oh, man. You can listen to us while you're karablasting. That's fine. So, part 2 of Star Wars Rebels, season 1.
It was good.
First half was a lot of setup. It was a lot of developing the characters and kind of getting to know them and how they were surviving and all that kind of stuff. And the second half is really where it ratchets up with the rebellion stuff and the action. So I thought the second half was really good. And we start off with Empire Day.
We open up with a holiday, a birthday, lots of shit's happening.
Not my favorite episode. I don't know if it was Sibo in this episode or fucking Ezra. It was my birthday.
You mean homeboy with the Cloud City thing on the back of his head?
Yeah. That's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cloud
Give me
City
5.
security forces.
Fives are being given out. Awesome.
Matt from across the... Yeah. There's one. All right.
Lobot is that guy's name. Lobot.
Oh, okay. He's a Rhodian. Sibo, so Greedo.
He's a Guido.
He's a... Well, I don't think he's from South Jersey.
What now? He's down from the Lothal shore.
Okay. He's going to GTL later. Gin, pan, laundry.
Clearly he's been partying like that because his mind is scrambled.
Oh, yeah. He's had a few beers.
He's smoked himself. Like he's fucking, he's got nothing left going on. So he's got data overload, right? They got that fucking, but we find out later in the episode.
Or as some would say, Brent Spiner overlord.
Overlord?
Load. God damn it.
He volunteered to go into the position that he's in. So he kind of right to himself, right? I guess is where we find out. He was also, I don't know, just going right into it. He was related to Ezra's parents in some way, shape, or form. They were doing their podcast in the basement.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
The Bridger podcast, the Bridger Files.
The Bridger Files.
Yeah. From Bridger.
They didn't actually die. They just quit. They got burnout and they quit because they weren't getting the downloads they wanted.
You could say they're on hiatus.
Yeah, there you go. They're on. Oh boy.
Too soon.
They got into a big fight.
Ezra's parents aren't dead. They're just on hiatus.
They got in a big fight. They got a huge fight on Earth Day last year, or what is it, Empire Day last year, and one person accused the other one of sleeping with someone else.
It's funny. Matt was there for both of them.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing is a couple things. One, so we find out that he's born on Empire Day, which means Ezra, which means he is exactly 2 days older than Luke and Leia. They're all the same, all born that same stretch because they were born 2 days after.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Get out of Hoth.
Isn't that exciting?
Are you kidding me?
But we started the episode, just to back up for a second. They're in this little like I don't know what you call that, outpost or something, little community. And I love the fact that they go in there and they're all kind of hanging out and laying low in this cantina. And the guy's name, because I looked it up, is Old Joe. That's the Ithorian bartender.
Okay.
I love how the pilots come in and are like, you got to have the fucking HoloNet on at all times. It's the law. And he's like, well, nobody's ever requested it ever. I just love how he's flipping shit to that guy. And then when the Gaul Travis communication comes in, he's like, turn it off now. He's like, I can't. It's the law.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Look who's a rule follower now,
Big
bitch.
old snail head.
Yeah.
I like how there's no like in the Mandalorian where his name escapes me because I'm podcasting.
Din Djarin.
Timothy Olyphant.
Yep.
Cobb Vanth.
Yep, Cobb Vanth. When he's in there watching the Death Star explode, it was on like a hologram in the bar or whatever. Yeah. And in this one, they just got like a 52-inch plasma on the wall behind the bar.
Yeah, much better. Much better equipment there at Old Joe's. And Gaul Travis is doing the whole thing where he's talking about like, Empire Day's coming up and we should not celebrate. He's calling for a boycott. He's just like you boycotted our bonus episode. He is calling for a boycott of Empire Day.
Yeah, we don't deal with cheaters on this show.
Nope. We're very loyal. Loyal as a loath cat.
That's what Ezra is like. I just want to be alone, which I'm sure Cole's like, oh God, here we go again.
Oh man. Like I want some time. I want some time to myself.
I don't know how you don't like give this dude respect because you always want to be alone.
Not always. I'm very social by nature.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we working something out here right now?
No.
I guess so.
He's complete. You know what it is you are completely fine. Just, I'm going to stay home and watch TV today. Where I stay home and watch TV and I want to blow my brains out. Like, you go fucking do something.
Which is why you tweet out, like every 7th day, you tweet out a morning tweet that says, I've got 42 things to do today.
Yep.
Keep yourself busy.
Too busy. Yeah.
I like to spread mine out.
It's going to put me in the hospital.
Slow and steady.
But yeah, so he's hearing at one point, Ezra's hearing like his parents' thoughts, which by the way, his dad is voiced by D. Bradley Baker, of course, because he has to do everybody. They decide to go. So Ezra's off kind of like, being sad. And the Ghost crew goes to the parade and they're showing off that advanced TIE fighter, which by the way, they're like, this is the best pilot, the best Empire pilot on Lothal. His name is Baron Valen Rudor, which already is a terrible name. But just to warn you, this guy really turns into a fucking cunt. I'm just going to warn you that right now. Later in the series, it's like, So
we get some more Baron. All right.
I've watched this before. I don't remember him coming back.
No?
He shows up later. You'll see him.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, Sabine and Zeb do the like firework distraction, which was kind of funny. Like, don't, toss that in the air when I tell you. Now? Yeah. Nope. Now? Nope. And then Kanan sets the charge, and that little thing he does where he walks by the troopers that are like, what are you doing over here? And he's like, oh my God, Empire Day, man.
Yeah.
Oh, so
cringy. That's real cringy. That's
weird.
my dad. That's my dad. Ezra comes over to save him. That's my dad. He felt like he had a little too much spot.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so then they blow that fucking thing. I love it too because the minister's on that platform and just goes flying. And then they're under, they got to get the fuck out of there. And so Zeb's like, I'll climb and go meet Hera. And you guys are going to go, they go back to Ezra's folks' place to kind of like lay low.
Yeah, this is the first time we go back there to the house? And that's where we've got the manhole in the house where we see the radio receiver and everything. Yeah.
Yep, and that's where we first see Zebo. He had been mentioned at the this is the first time we actually see him. And the way he moves, and he stumbles around like your drunk friend, like you're trying to sneak him in your house at night so your parents don't hear him. He's just like, he's all this like limp body, and he's just spitting shit, constantly talking. He's kind of a tough guy to be around at the moment.
Real weekend at Bernie's.
You don't like him when you're sober, but he's he's fun to hang out with on a Saturday night.
Great to party with. Zebo's a great guy to party with. He is the one who kind of shares, well, two things. One, they realize, he's got that mother load of information that he's downloaded from the Empire. So that's why they're after him. But then he kind of reveals to the crew that's Empire Day as Ezra's birthday. And that's why they start figuring out that's why he's so sad.
Right.
Yeah, they smuggle him off Lothal on the Ghost. And then, like, they're taking heavy fire. And Ezra's having a conversation with Sibo in the fucking common room.
Yeah.
And Sibo's like, and then he gets like irrationally mad at him. I'll never forgive you. Blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't know what the fuck happened. Like, leave poor Sibo alone.
I think he thinks he does, right? And then he finds out that Zebo knows something.
Calls
or is
him a
responsible.
coward.
Yeah.
Like
I thought he was going to put him in the little fucking prison room right there. Like where they put Ezra in the first episode.
Really channeling the cuntiness of Anakin a lot. Like just,
oh absolutely.
Jesus.
And that's something you're going to see later when you get to the temple.
Have either of you
survived.
raised a 15-year-old yet? Yeah, no, you haven't either, right?
I'm only to 12 so far.
Okay, well,
George is coming up on 13.
I
Buckle
promise
up.
you. I promise you, this Ezra fucking going off on Uncle Zebo is nothing different than going off on a dad. And I've done it 3 times, and I don't know if I can do it 2 more.
We've already established that Matt and I rule with Iron Fist.
Oh
so
man, good luck.
we will brook no nonsense from our children.
All right.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, they get cut off. So they're trying to get out of there with him, and they get cut off by this blockade, which is so funny because they set up this blockade and they just blow right through it. Nice blockade there. I was thinking at the time, don't worry, Commander, because everything's going to turn out fine for you. So don't worry about blowing the blockade.
Little does he know, this might be his last blockade that he's
Probably
ever
his
going to
last
run.
screw up is that one.
Oops a daisy.
And then, like you said, Callus catches up to him, and he's just fucking in it, man. He's just like, I want to be out in front and like doing this shit myself. He is a hands-on manager.
Yes.
And
William
he jumps
Wallace.
on the ghost, or he jumps on the transport, and like is trying to go after him, and the ghost swoops in and gets him out. But the fucking boss ass move by Kanan when he does the backward launch, block the shots,
lands on the platform.
That was pretty dope.
All in slow motion. Just fucking winks at him. You ain't a Jedi, bitch.
Yeah. See you later, motherfucker. Yeah. And then I think that's when the Inquisitor comes in with the ties, and Zebo comes and tells Ezra that he knows what happened to his parents.
Right. But we can't talk right now because we're under attack.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now you don't want to know.
Mhm.
Zebo is voiced by Peter McNichol.
Oh, really? It's Vigo.
Yes, right.
Right?
Exactly. Yep.
I love how you guys do this every single time. And he's always like, oh, by the way, but so-and-so is voiced by, and then I'm like, I don't know the fuck that
Never
is.
heard of
He's
him.
always like, oh, yeah, he's third grip on a fucking production 9 years ago.
No, Peter McNichol is in Ghostbusters too. The little guy that runs the museum. He's like, it's Vigo.
He's
Oh,
the
he
one who
ends up
gets
getting possessed?
Yeah, gets taken over by the painting and all that.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
He was actually the star of the Dragon Slayer movie in the 80s. Like that was
He
him.
was?
That weenie kid was Peter McNichol.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, that's kind of it. Move on to episode 9, which is Gathering Forces. And that's where like the ties are all over the ghost. And, Ezra's just hammering Zebo more about, what he knows. And he just keeps mumbling about shit.
Was this our first to be continued episode?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember
I
another
think it
one.
was.
And Zebo's really leaning into the third person speaking here. It's a lot of Zebo this, Zebo that. Come on, dude. Just say I. It's fine. Use a pronoun. Inquisitor hits the Phantom with that tracking beacon and kind of lets them take the jump so that they can follow them.
Yeah, but why does the Inquisitor look so mad when they actually go through hyperspace? The whole time he's like, I got a tracker on him, whatever, and then all of a sudden they go zoom and he goes, "Arr." I'm like, what?
Yeah, I
You
don't
got what
know.
you wanted, dude.
I think that was the backup plan. He didn't actually want to lose them, perhaps. I don't know. But at one point they go, Zebo knows that the tracking device is on there.
Yep.
And he tells them, and they're like, Chopper, you need to scan the ship for the tracking device. And when he shows him and tells him what it is, I'm pretty sure the Chopper goes, he says like, bwomp, bwomp, bwomp. It sounds like he says, the fuck is that?
Yeah, I picked up on that too. He's like, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like he said it like that. Like I thought that's where like when you were talking about it earlier, like he's swearing under there. Like
Absolutely.
okay.
yeah, I feel like I heard it too.
Filoni didn't hide that one very well.
No,
I mean, it could be like the unnecessary beep game they used to do on whatever fucking talk show that was, where they unnecessarily bleep out stuff.
Yeah.
But there are just so many times where it's like he is clearly swearing. There's no way around it.
so in a very fortuitous turn of events, the tracking beacon was attached to the Phantom and not the Ghost proper. So they're able to.
The way you speak sometimes really turns me on.
Oh yeah. Very efficacious in my my verboseness.
Keep going. I'm almost done.
Okay. So they concoct this cockamamie scheme.
I know words.
Sorry, Jay's having a moment over
I'm
there.
having fun. Sorry.
That's all right.
They do this cockamamie scheme to put Ezra and Kanan on the Phantom, and they drop out of hyperspace, which was fucking like a trip on what's her face's magic school bus when you come out of that fucking
Yes.
thing. Like you're like, "Rah!" They're doing 360s, and there's like rainbow fucking.
Did you get because he's like, you can't do that. And the first thing I thought of was the book we were reading. What's the
Yeah.
first Jedi one, and then all the fucking
Yeah.
shrapnel comes flying out of hyperspace and everything. So I was like, oh nope, they're fucked.
They were built. They had a nicer cruiser. It was
That's true,
It was
yeah.
welded by top men.
Well, they also didn't hit something. I think that was the key. Light of the Jedi, they actually hit something. So I think that was the difference. Anyway,
It's got to be a tailspin where like coming out of that wash has got to be hard though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Goose didn't recover from it, so
that's true. Excellent point. But where do they end up? Your favorite place, Fort Anaxis.
Yep.
They're back.
I feel like that's like a fucking Civil War fort, or from like the name of the fort from Dances with Wolves.
Jebediah Anaxis.
Yeah.
Jebediah is the lone caretaker here out at Anaxis. He's been surviving off coffee and honeycomb for 17 years.
Nothing but Fernox out there.
Yeah, she's been a lonely trek out here. A big old beard. Sorry, I'm living in my own little world here.
Haven't seen him since he went out karabasting 2 years ago.
Went out back to the pond to take a nice karabast. Got pulled under by a gator with a death roll. Lost 2 fingers.
Oh, shit. Tales from the West, Star Wars style. Okay.
Matt's got his hand full with editing this episode.
So yeah, Kanan's got this whole plan. He's like, hey, we should connect with these Fernox, which sounds just batshit crazy because these things are just, ruthless monsters. But I love how the second Ezra admits that he's afraid about losing them, just like he lost his parents or whatever it was, and he actually calls out, "I forgive you, Sibo." All of a sudden he comes to, and those things are like little puppy dogs waiting for dinner, just looking at him.
And also Kanan admits, like, you're kind of a shit student, but every time you're under pressure, you do really good. So, we're just going to send you into these creatures to talk to them.
Yeah, like the revelation.
Trial by fire.
Yeah, trial by fire. Mm-hmm. The revelation, like, I forgive you, Sibo, like screaming. Oh my God, I fucking just groan her. Like, I'm rolling my eyes
Sibo
so hard.
wakes up. He's like, oh, I feel better now.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, my thoughts have been cleared.
Yeah.
Like,
the weight was lifted.
This weight has been lifted. The stress of someone else feeling bad about me.
Well, good news for you, though, because the Ghost crew meets up with Fulcrum and they're going to give him Sibo. So we don't have to deal with Sibo for a while. But is it me, or is the scrambled Fulcrum voice creepy as fuck? That sounds like some serial killer calling you on the phone or something. It's weird.
Definitely also sounds like a dude, of course.
Yeah, well, they're trying to hide who it really is.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Although, hey, when they reveal it, first time I saw this, I was like, fuck yes.
I had not really seen much of Clone Wars when I saw that, so it wasn't as big of a land for me as it would have been otherwise. But yeah, still a cool moment.
Yeah, I hit the same exact feels as you did, Matt, because I didn't know who the hell she was. Or who they
I had
were.
seen her, but I didn't know who she was that well.
I think I'd seen the first season or so, but I always because I read nonsense all the time. I knew story plot points and the character and everything.
Yeah.
So when I saw it was a, I guess, beloved character before it should have been for me. I just knew it was.
Yeah.
So back to the storyline.
Sorry.
Ezra and Kanan are on the planet Fort Anaxis.
Yep.
I'll go down that road again. They're hanging out, just chilling, communing in the dark. What is it? Child's pose with a bunch of fucking
Crisscross applesauce?
Toothless from fucking How to Train Your Dragon behind them. They're all just standing there in the back, just fucking. And then
Those beady eyes.
They did look like Toothless.
They did, right? Yeah. And then the stormtroopers come with the Inquisitor, and the Inquisitor's like, I don't give a fuck about these animals. I carve them up fucking for dinner, left and right. And they both point at the stormtroopers and the Inquisitors, and then the fucking horde of
Unleash the wave.
Unleash the wave. Yep.
Yeah, but he's like, "This is your plan? Come on." I love how he's just taunting him again. He's so good at taunting people about their shit plans and how they're going to lose. Then Kanan fights him and he kind of knocks him out and grabs his saber, got his saber out of his hand or something like that. And then Ezra goes you're not going to touch him, and actually is able to pull the saber up. And then he just sucks the saber right out of his hand. He's like, never mind. Sorry, bro.
Rule number 1: hold your saber tight.
Yes.
You've much to learn.
Never pick up a saber after you've got butter in your hands.
Well, and then Inquisitor's embrace the dark side, get into your anger and your fear, blah, blah. And he's like, okay. So then he dials up that monster Toothless, character. And it was enough to fend them off so he could get the hell out of there.
And then later on,
it was the Frynock Queen.
Yeah, sure.
Kanan really kind of chastises him for it. You did something super dangerous. And this leads into Path of the Jedi, episode 10, right? Mm-hmm. Where he's got to all right, we got to figure out what we're doing with you. You're gonna sink or swim, right? So I think Kanan kind of.
This is sort of like when Luke feels a little too much from Rey. There's a lot of darkness there.
Or when Luke and Yoda in the Cave of Wonders on Dagobah, right?
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of Luke vibe, but there's a lot of Anakin vibe too. I think once we get to Yoda, he's like sensing a lot of the same feelings
Right.
from Ezra.
Yeah.
Yoda's been known to gamble on a Padawan, though.
Well, I was gonna say, when we get to that point, it's
Not
funny
his
because
fault. It's been clouded.
let's walk to that, and then we'll talk about that part in a minute. But yeah, he essentially is like, you can guide us to the temple just by meditating in the fucking Phantom, and then all along he knew where the goddamn temple was.
Right.
He was just like on autopilot to the temple. But they do the Force opening, together, the little Force opening of the temple. And I like how he says, "You're looking for nothing and everything." He's like, what the fuck does that mean? He's like, I don't know. That's what I was told.
And surprise, it's on Lothal because there's only 2 places we can go in this show: Lothal or Fort Access.
It's just one of the temples, Jay. Don't be so nitpicky.
Okay. All right. All right.
No, but I love how all the masters, those dead skeleton masters, are out there. They're like, they were waiting for their Padawans to come back. They never came back.
Yeah.
So good luck, dude.
Yep.
No pressure. Is the fact that they couldn't open the temple by themselves? It has to be a Padawan and a master.
think
Is
that's
that why
right.
they couldn't escape?
I think that's right.
There's 2 masters sitting next to each other. Why don't they just fucking combine their forces?
One of them might have been dead.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, good point.
Only
Maybe
one allowed there at the time.
There's a 2-man rule.
Yeah.
2 men allowed inside at any one time. Once he perishes, now you can bring the next set.
It's like a bathroom stall. Only
I
2
heard-
men allowed at a time.
I heard there's only 10,000 Jedi Knights, but they're funneling them in there 2 every 100 years. It's going to be quite a fucking process.
Go to your own Lothal.
Well, and then the Ezra mindfuck, procedure starts, where it's like, first he sees Kanan shows up, but it's not really Kanan, and he, chases him around. He gets killed by the Inquisitor, and then he falls off the cliff. Then he lands in the Ghost, and then they're all fucking talking shit about him and feeling sorry for him. And then the Inquisitor shows up again and kills them all.
He's living all his fears.
Yeah, he keeps dealing with it, and then finally realizes, okay, this guy's not real. So it kind of basically lets him try to slice through with a lightsaber, and nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we get Yoda, voiced by Frank Oz, no less.
Yes.
So that was sweet. And then, yeah, he kind of leads him away with the little bouncing balls of light. But meanwhile, Kanan starts talking to Yoda. And he's, again, it's this whole thing about like, I hope he doesn't lose his way like I did. And I just am worried I'm going to let him down and all that kind of stuff. He's just got so much fucking guilt weighing on him.
Yeah, a lot of trauma at a young age, I would have to say, from Kanan.
But Yoda, he's getting that vibe from Ezra, because Ezra's talking about like how he wants revenge, he wants to protect his friends, he wants to be all powerful, and I mean that's all not the Jedi way, as we know.
Yeah.
And so Yoda's like, oh shit. But I was thinking at the time when that happened and he was saying that, I thought, well, don't worry, Ezra, because Yoda, Mace, that whole crew, they're fucking blind as a bat when it comes to sensing darkness rising from a Jedi. So you're probably fine to do whatever you want.
Now, where is Yoda at this point in time? He's in Outcast on Dagobah, right?
No, because this is
No, this is 4. This is right before episode 4. Rise of the
He's on
Rebellion.
Dagobah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in exile.
Yeah.
Correct.
Too lazy to get his fucking little green ass out there and see what's going on.
His X-Wing sunk in the swamp. He's got nowhere to go.
Well, that's Luke's X-Wing.
How'd he get there?
He had that little weird like phone booth looking spaceship.
Yeah, we always saw like once or twice, right?
Yeah,
We were mocking it. It's like it's made for Yoda.
It's
exactly.
like the beginning
It's
scene
tiny.
of Predator. Shoots a little capsule out.
Yeah. Maybe this is what
little Dagobah
this is
suppository.
what Grogu will get now that he's outgrown the mobile defensive
Oh, yeah, what was that called?
MDFC, Mobile Carrier Defense System.
something like that.
Yeah.
I think Unit was in there somewhere. Yeah, but yeah, he'll get the hand-me-down from Yoda. He'll get the his spaceship. But yeah, Ezra basically says, like, I Kanan makes people feel good. I kind of want to do that. What are you talking about there? He makes Hera feel really good.
Not that we'll ever see it.
Nope, never will see it. But Yoda's like, oh, those are the magic words. By the way, here's your Kyber crystal. So he gets that. It's a nice tidy way to like go through the trials and get the Kyber crystal pretty quickly, because we gotta wedge it.
Yeah,
in
he doesn't have to
24
go
minutes.
right. Yeah, and it also doesn't it looks like the Lucas Arts logo.
The Kyber
Oh.
crystal.
Like where he's like reaching for the whatever and it's in the stars. It looks just like that's what I got the feeling of.
I didn't think about that. That's a good call. And then Kanan's like, sweet, man, Kyber crystal, time to build that lightsaber. So he builds it, and it looks like a staple gun.
It does. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Fucked up.
But it's a combo. It's a combo gun saber, which is pretty brilliant.
It's pretty
I thought that was
badass.
a nice move. Yeah.
Of course, it's a stunning gun. Is there a death blow kill on that thing? Because it seems to just be stunning people.
I think you're right. I think it is just a stunner, isn't it? And then the saber is going to kill you. The gun's going to stun you. So
Stun them and slice them.
Yep.
The SS combo.
Off with the head.
now it's time for Idiot's Array.
We get to see our favorite.
Watch your mouth.
Ooh.
Old Joe's back. Old Joe's Cantina. So
Yep.
I like to see him again. And yeah, Zeb's playing Sabak. And when the first time you watched this and
yes.
didn't know, immediately, right?
Immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, knew it was going to be him. And yeah, he loses Chopper to him. Did anybody check his sleeves? You know that he was cheating.
That's what Zeb accused him of. You know he was probably cheating.
But I think that was always the running theme, and you don't see it until Solo. But yeah, I think that's why he was always winning. He's just a really good cheat.
Exactly.
You think after a while someone would just make him roll his sleeve up, right? Like, hey, no long sleeve shirts at the table.
Right. No capes, no long sleeves.
He didn't have a cape this episode.
No, you're right.
I did notice that.
Or it's like New Jack City where they make everybody cut up the drugs naked. You want to get in this poker game. You want to get in the Sabak game. Got to be in the box.
There's a pull.
Slim fit outfits only.
So yeah, Lando needs the Ghost to do this cargo run to get past this blockade.
Puffa pig. Get a puffa pig.
Fucking stupid.
Peppa Pig. Oh, I know. It's
Peppa
so
the
silly.
Puffa
Very,
pig.
very special mining equipment.
And you get S. Morgan, or whatever the fuck his name, S-Mo.
Oh, man.
Oh, what a fucking fat turd that guy is.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that voice?
He looks like a living mud flap.
I want to ask you, it sounds like the guy that fucking does David Lopan from Big Trouble in Little China.
Bingo.
Was it him?
Yes.
Did I get it?
Wow.
Hi,
Yes.
Who's the fucking man now?
Yeah. James Hong. But yeah, he's just a beast, just disgusting pig.
Mr.
And so, yeah,
Button. Jack Button. thousand hells will you die.
I did like the fact, though, by the way, right before that, Lando gets on the ship and just immediately goes into smooth mode. He's like sweet talking.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, that's the nicest takeoff I've ever had. And Ezra's like, he's fine. He's a nice guy. And then he starts sweet talking Sabine. He's like, I fucking hate him.
Yep.
I like your impressionist piece. Your impressionist painting, Sabine.
You want to come see my quarters? I was like, oh boy.
I'd love to. He's smooth as
She is
fuck.
underage, Lando. Come
he's
on,
like,
man.
Here, drink this Colt 45.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so he does this little ruse where he basically trades Hera for, was it for the pig?
For the yeah, it was
It's for the yes.
for Peppa Pig.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he gets that. She is able to escape by smashing the shit out of him with a fucking tray and gets off in the escape pod and gets back to the ship. and
Which
they
he
get away.
previously mentioned, like as conversation walking through the hallway. Well, there's an escape pod right there. And
Yeah, right.
then he tells Kanan, "Well, you weren't listening. I told her there was an escape pod."
I like the fucking. They escape off, or Hera escapes. They pick her up in the fucking Ghost, and then S. Morgan or whatever the fuck knows where the drop is for Lando to sell the puffer pig or whatever, his mining equipment.
Yeah.
And he's waiting for him when he gets there. He's like, "How'd you get here? I didn't see a ship. Did you walk? You don't walk anywhere."
I love
Piece
that
of
line.
shit.
It's like my ankles are hurting. He says.
Yeah, because he's like in cahoots with Vizago. Like he
Right.
knows him well. That's how he knew where the fuck they were gonna go. So yeah, and then when it's Zeb gets like held up by S. Morgan, that is it has to be the most embarrassing like defeat in battle ever. That guy got you? Like,
Yeah.
come on. Zeb, you're better than that.
All right, we got a question of the week for next week. S. Morgan versus Porkins in a fucking sumo match. Who wins?
There's your Porkins Easter egg. I got to take Porkins on that one.
Yeah, me too.
Then eventually what happens is during that whole fight sequence, Chopper like sneaks off with some of that fuel. So they get some fuel out of it and then they just get the fuck out of there. And that was kind of it. So it was a silly episode. It was nice to see Lando. It was cool that he was like being the sweet talker and all that kind of stuff, but it was kind of a silly one-off.
I love how Chopper like uses every bit of power he's got to push that fuel up the ramp, and no one knows he did it. He's up back there just ripping
Burning
tire,
out,
just trying to get up that ramp, and everyone's in a shootout. Not one person sees this little fucking robot carry this tank all the way to the ship, roll it up the fucking. Oh, they're all surprised at the end. We did nothing. We got nothing out of this mission, and he's like, fuckers.
Finally, Chopper does something really useful.
Yeah, go Chopper.
So Vision of Hope is next. They started with he's doing like the saber deflection stuff while they're firing shit at him. And then that Gaul Travis's message comes in again. And so he has a vision of the meeting with them, and it ends up kind of coming true, but just bits of it.
Right.
You see some of it later. And so, yeah, Travis's message is like to the rebels on Lothal, and he's kind of tipping off where he wants them to meet. I love how he says specific things so the Empire doesn't understand. I'm like, come on, these are not very deep clues that you're dropping here.
Yeah. The Imperials have no clue when he's dropping these. Like,
Whatever planet he mentioned, that's the planet he's going to be on next. And I'm like, well, that's got to be a hard pattern to figure out.
He's doing like pig Latin. We couldn't figure it out. It was so weird. So cryptic.
switch to channel 3 if you want to know the real location.
Right.
And so, then Ezra gets some intel from Leonis, the cadet, that Kallus is working up he's organizing some big offensive or military operation at the old Senate building. So clearly it's a trap, what they're walking into. And he also tells Ezra that he's being transferred to Arcanus, I think is how you say it.
He got promoted. Right?
What's that?
He was Zara Leonis was promoted in the ranks.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And for those of you who are like, names, this is the kid that he was in cadet school with that stuck around to find his sister.
Exactly. Yeah, and then so Ezra comes back to the Ghost crew and finds them messing with his radio gear, his parents' podcast gear.
Right.
And tells them it's a trap, that they're trying to capture Travis, and so they want to scout the building ahead to make sure that they can get the senator out of there. So they go through the sewer.
Yeah. And I love how the sewer goes all the way up to the top of the building, right to where they need to be.
Very
convenient, much like that last episode of Bad Batch. Look at us.
We're here.
So they get to Travis, and that's right when Kallus walks in with the troopers. And again, he's still calling him Jabba at that point.
Yeah.
Jabba.
That's where he says
Padawan.
it. Yeah.
Kanan Jarrus and Padawan Jabba, he says. That's fucking hilarious. Right before that, I believe you get to see Chopper with his savagery. He zaps that droid and pushes him down
This is where,
Yes. Fucking poor bastard.
Yeah. They smoke bomb and get out of there, and then Travis is doing that thing. You've seen it so many times where he's walking along the sewers with them, and he's like asking him really simple questions. Yeah. How many of there are you? All those different questions that are so leading. They're like, you
guys must be well funded. And Hera the whole time is like, there's something going on with this guy.
Hera's squinting at him.
Yeah, she's kind of picking it up.
And he's like, he runs 4 feet, and he's like, oh, I got a fucking cramp. And, he's just letting them catch up.
Her Twi'lek ears or whatever there are, braids are twitching. Something doesn't smell right about this
tentacles?
Cat.
What are they?
Could be. I don't know. I think there's a name for them.
You think they'd wrap you up?
I'd let him wrap me up.
Yeah.
Look, homeboy over here, he fucked a Martian once.
So he reveals how he finally comes clean. She's like, here's the gun, watch our back, which is the ultimate last moment line of any of those types of setups. And then
what a maroon! There's no bullets in the gun.
Any rebel with assault would have known that this was on safety.
Dumbass. And then he basically says how I'm helping them sniff out insurgents, but I don't. It never comes back to me because I always look like I'm not at fault, so I can continue to do it. Nobody's the wiser. But he also tells Ezra how he's like, your parents should have joined the Empire. Now they're gone. And of course, that's not going to go over well. And but Hera gives him that look of, you didn't think I'd really give you the loaded gun. And then when Kanan comes down and gets them out, they actually go through that fan. Yeah. That look back that Ezra gives him at the right as they're about to leave, I'm gonna fuck you up next time I see you. Yeah. I love that.
You get the whole what is it? Daylight scene.
I was just gonna say it was Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. Daylight scene that comes through the fans.
Yep.
Well, that's a total Jedi Fallen Order thing too. There's a couple things there where you have to do the Force to hold the fan.
Hold the fan. Okay.
Yeah, same exact thing. So we get to call to action. Here comes motherfucking Grand Moff Tarkin.
He here. He landed.
Yeah. Yep. When you want fucking dark things done right, and boy, does he rule with a ruthless. He's like, oh man.
He's poking at everybody for not being
absolutely.
What did this dude do to rise from a reg human being? He doesn't have any force powers. He's just got the full authority
ruthless
of the fucking Empire underneath him.
Right.
What did he do? Every other commander just gets killed.
And right now he's not Grand Moff Tarkin yet, right? He's what is he, Admiral Tarkin?
She calls him Grand Moff Tarkin and then says he's the governor of the Outer Rim worlds.
Which is what we learned is the Grand Moff is the regional manager of a district of planets, right? That's how we discussed it.
Well, these fucking high up Grand Moffs and fucking admirals just talk shit to Vader or
they're on the same level,
and they're talking shit to the Inquisitor for not taking on the Jedi, and the Inquisitor just okay. I can snap your neck in 20 seconds,
right?
But I guess I
respect your rank.
I'll be obsequious to you. I'll follow the chain of command. Social norms apply here.
Yeah, respect the uniform, not the man.
You see this? I got 2 reds, 2 blues, and a row of orange.
See you at the Piggly Wiggly, I'm whooping your ass.
You see the markings here? The multicolored orange and blue? That means I own you. Don't even look me in the eye.
You're right. He undresses all 3 of them. It goes one by one. He's like, the minister, you fucked up by letting this happen. Kallus, you haven't gotten rid of it. And Inquisitor, there's supposed to be a Jedi, which is bullshit because there's no Jedi. I love that. He's like, there's no fucking Jedi. This guy's a poser.
We'll see.
But you shouldn't track him down.
You wouldn't know a Jedi if he fucking hit you in the ass. Moff's I was around when there was Jedi. So, and then
you know where they are now? They're gone.
He calls in fucking Commander Bebop and Rocksteady to sit down and give a full report. They're sitting there. Oh, we're just here to fucking let them know it's not our fault. We're just a couple cogs in the machine.
Are you too familiar with a guillotine?
It's nice the double blade worked real well there.
Yeah,
If
it
it just
did.
has the one, it's not going to work. And if you watch the other guy get it first, then you get a brace. So
Oh,
you just
man.
want both.
They want a clean cut.
But then during the course of that whole exchange, they show the Ghost Crew getting that message that like the Senator Travis is putting out like basically a bounty on them. And so they're like, well, let's just fucking broadcast a message out there. We need to get the Imperial Communication Tower and put the shit out and go to Lothal and all the nearby systems. So then they move on and they're scouting the comms tower and they encounter a probe droid and Ezra uses the Force to make that Lothcat attack it, which I thought was fucking hilarious.
Man of the meat stand.
Yeah.
What the fuck is it? Man of the meat.
Unmistakable sound.
Mm-hmm.
But it captures them on camera. So, and by the way, so I know that they were just kind of stealing those and using those, but can we get Sabine a better speeder bike? Did you see that thing that she was riding? It looked like an old man's motorized vehicle.
It was a rascal.
It was terrible.
The rascal version.
She got fucked on that deal.
She was in one of the carts that was just used by someone from My 600 Pound Life. Broke down.
It should have had a basket in the front.
Armrest wasn't fucking working.
So then Tarkin's like, or no, Callus says, let's reinforce, because we know they're going for the comms tower. And Tarkin's like, oh, no, you don't know how this game works. Strategy, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let them come in and think that they can get in there, and then we'll trap them.
Callus is like, oh, we've never thought of that before. Markin's like, Tarkin comes in. Listen, it's chess, motherfucker. It's not checkers.
This is why they pay him the big bucks.
He's like, Callus, you're about one step away from putting your Whipple Ball helmet on and getting fucking Inquisitored.
Tarkin needs like some like junior hype man. Like every time he's in the room and makes some smart comment, yeah, burn, says to Callus. Yeah.
Shave your fucking lamb chops, Callus. Get out of here, fucking scumbag.
You're not a man yet.
Oh, well, so they take the tower and they put that spike in the thing to get the control of the communications.
And the whole time, Kanan is just itching to fucking like sacrifice himself.
Yeah.
I'll stand guard here. Like,
Yes.
why don't you just go up in the lift and escape with everybody else?
Don't
you
be a
fucking
martyr.
martyr.
Yes.
Kanan, Joan of Arc, fucking Jarrus.
But the whole time he's like, because when he fights him, he's like, oh, you've been trained. He's like, oh, you can tell? Like, he just wanted to fight that
I've
motherfucker.
been fucking itching to fight
Yeah.
the Inquisitor. Just down there. Oh, and then you notice the one time he fucking stabs the controls to the door, it doesn't trip open. Like, he's like, psh, lightsabers the controls to the door. Every other time you blast
And
or
then he
fire the
fucking just gives
control.
him like that dead eye, like, guess no one's going up.
Well, every other time you fucking blast or fire a door, controls, it opens up. Like, it's like
Yeah.
a 50-50.
No, they'll do it both ways.
That's
If
what
the
I'm saying.
door's
It's like
closed,
50-50.
they'll blast it so no one can get through.
Luke does it in fucking New Hope.
Yeah.
He shoots it. That ought to hold him for a while.
Mhm.
Fucking walks away, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know. Craziness.
Well, and he gives them the line, the whole Ezra, I'll be right behind you. I mean, that is the most like
Right.
foreshadowing, obvious movie line ever. But he gets worked by the Inquisitor, and he's like telling Hera, "Get the fuck out of here." She's like, "No," and of course, Ezra's saying, "Don't do it," but they blast out of there. But then Tarkin comes in, and this is where I was making fun of the helmet. His helmet, that is just so bad. It's so hard to take him seriously with that thing on because he looks like a clown.
It's like a gladiator helmet, but much thicker.
Or like what's her name's hair style in The Incredibles.
Okay.
What's her name? The little
Elastigirl?
anyway. No, the gal, the
Violet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you mean Edna?
Edna.
It's like Edna the
It's like
costume
Edna's
maker's
hair.
hair. It does.
Wow, you're fucking
Oh my
pulls.
God, you've got old.
But then Ezra broadcasts the message as they're about to blow the tower, and that's kind of how that one ends. So that sets up kind of this 2-episode finale where they're trying to get Kanan out.
Yep, Rebel Resolved, episode 14, and then Fire Across the Galaxy.
We got to find Kanan.
Yep.
After they're told not to. He's supposed to be left for dead. Move on.
Well, they
Listen to orders.
right. They
Yeah,
start the
Fulcrum.
Fulcrum tells him to fucking cut your losses, and Hera's like, okay, well,
Right.
that's the love of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got his saber's a little short, so I'm ready to move on. Get me a
She's
Lasat.
like, honey, did you change the height setting on the saber again? Can you turn that back up?
yeah.
I've been under a lot of pressure teaching this kid. I can't help it if it's flaccid.
So this one opens up with them hijacking a walker to find Kanan in the detention facility, right? So they pull Chopper, and I think is it Zeb and Ezra inside the walker, and they're all trying. Oh no, Zeb is on top of the walker, I believe.
Yeah.
And
Because they break into it. Apparently, everything that's hooked to the internet, you can just get into any database and find out where a prisoner is, no matter what planet or whatever you're on.
well, they forgot that they blew up the communication tower
Yeah.
and that they are using courier droids at this point to communicate since they blew up the comm tower.
Yep.
So the network
No
is
more
down.
Wi-Fi.
No more Wi-Fi. People
exactly
are fucking
it.
Lothal are getting restless.
Man.
They're back to
that's
snail mail.
sowing the seeds for rebellion right there. Take the Wi-Fi away from those kids. That'll be fucking got nothing to do with their time.
Yeah, and so then they realize that, and so they go back, and Ezra and Sabine basically work with Chopper to distract Hera so they can take the Phantom and go after Kanan.
Go rogue, yeah. They go rogue and try to go rescue Kanan.
Well, meanwhile, he's being interrogated by the fucking hypodermic needle ball.
Mind
Right.
probe
And,
droid is what they called
yeah.
that. And that's
It's called what?
The mind probe. Mind probe droid. And
And
electric
then
shock treatment.
Inquisitor's like,
apparently.
fuck this. That's not good enough.
Yeah. And then he tries to like Kylo Ren him,
Yep.
pull it out of his mind, right?
Yep.
And nope, to no avail.
Kanan's like, at first, like, oh, then he's just like, yeah, you're doing nothing to me. Just fucking totally burns him.
Dapple Bill Bulba used to do this to me all the time.
Yeah.
You'll never get
It
through my
felt good when
defenses.
she did it.
It tickles. So Ezra, Sabine, and Zeb pay a visit to Vizago again.
Mm-hmm.
And Ezra tells Vizago Kanan's a Jedi, and he's like, okay, guy. And then he's, shows him how he's got the power as well. So he's like, okay. So he makes that deal. You
Yep.
got to do anything I want when I ask, and I'm not going to,
Yep.
everything's on the table. He's
Mhm.
like, fine, I'll do it.
Yeah, he
So-
starts off with like, well, to a certain extent. He's like, that's not what
Never
I
mind.
said.
Walks away.
That is not what I said. I want what I want.
Yeah, always be willing to walk away. Vizago knows the rules of negotiation. He should teach Mando.
Mando.
Yep, she get Din Djarin in there. Talk to him a bit.
But yeah, he's the one who tells him about the courier droids.
Yep.
Droids.
Yes.
They end up with a cockamamie scheme to swap out Chopper with a regular courier droid.
All it takes is a coat of paint on Chopper, and he just covers for anything, doesn't he?
Well, I got the
He
sense
does.
that courier droid that kind of joins the Rebels cause is going to get betrayed sometime in the near future by another astromech. I won't give you any clues. As to who it's
Sneaking
gonna be.
suspicion. It's not going to end well for him.
Chopper likes
It's like Chopper's a Highlander. There can be only one.
Yeah.
He's got his own list of morals here.
McLeod. Fucking screams it out.
Remember early in the season when he's like smashing into R2? Didn't like
Yes.
R2 being around.
That's right. He was
So,
charging him too.
He's a fucking alpha.
He's an alpha droid. That's exactly what it is. So Chopper goes and boards the fucking Rebel cruiser, right? Or not the Rebel cruiser, the Imperial cruiser. And he just, I plug in Astromech, and he plugs in. He's like, hey, you're not supposed to be copying data. And then the
Puts his little fucking antenna up, his little radar.
slowest,
Starts sending information
Pretty
out.
obvious.
slowest reaction time by the entire deck officer crew. Like, what are you guys doing? Deck officer,
Oh, this guy's malfunctioning.
maybe we should just stare at him and question him, and then let him transmit. And then, we're under attack. I wonder if those two things are related.
Yeah, it kind of makes you think, how there's that old joke about Lord of the Rings. Why didn't they just use the hawks to fly to Mount Doom from the
Instead of
beginning?
walk.
Why didn't the rebels just constantly use like undercover droids to get to do everything possible for them in
Right.
the entire, why did the Bothans have to die? Why couldn't they have just been droids?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like they're immune to like space vax too. I didn't even ever think about that. Like he's just sitting there by the door, and then the gang of
Ejects.
stormtrooper Chopper ejects, sucks fucking 10
Just murder-
stormtroopers
Yeah.
out into space with him. He's like meh, 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 takes off.
Chopper's got to have like one of the highest death counts in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's killed a lot.
Yeah.
He'll kill again.
And he just giggles.
He'll kill again, motherfucker. He don't care. Chopper don't give a fuck.
No.
Chopper's the honey badger of the fucking.
He wakes up
Star
every
Wars
day
universe.
looking for death.
I think that was Sabine just finds out where Kanan is and that he's on Tarkin's ship, scheduled to head to Mustafar.
Right.
And that is where Hera says that's where Jedi go to die. And I was like, well, I
Do
guess
they?
that's true from a certain point of view.
Yeah.
because Anakin didn't really die there, but did he? Because he was a Jedi and then became a Sith.
You could say, yeah, but you could say, but I mean, even like, do you
He's
get
already a
that?
Sith.
Do you get that slogan for one Jedi dying there?
Yeah, it seems a bit much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, unless they did some sort of backstory to where they rounded up the remaining Jedi and took
I
them to
feel like
Mustafar.
that'll have more meaning after Kenobi comes out.
Not after the Halloween special comes out.
Only if it's canon.
Matt's really counting on the Halloween special to go big.
It's gonna fill in a lot of gaps. So last episode,
Fire Across the Galaxy, episode 15.
Oh, and I mentioned before to you the shorts. So when the episode starts off and they're like, the artist is back, that is a reference to that short that they did with Sabine. So that comes full circle.
And her painting the TIE fighter.
Right.
Yeah. And this is where she goes full gymnast, and none of the stormtroopers can catch up and get a beat on her.
No.
She's doing her fucking floor routine. And basically
all 10s, except for the Russian. Russian judge gave her like a 5.
The stormtroopers are just warm bodies at this point in time. Just I do not like American gymnast. Then it also gets revealed. So they steal the main cruiser. It's not like a.
They call it a transport.
A transport ship. Okay, so it's not a full like
destroyer. Star Destroyer.
It's not a full Star Destroyer. It's not a TIE fighter. It's kind of the. The luxury class, the Honda Accord.
Isn't it the same type of ship that Mando and the Mandalorians break into?
Oh, kind of looks like that.
Right? It
can house a TIE fighter underneath, right? Like a little tube, a little vac tube. Suck a TIE fighter right up. Suck a TIE fighter off.
Okay.
Or multiple TIE fighters.
A couple of them. It looks like there's maybe 3, maybe 4 TIE fighters, 2 hands skiing.
Ski poles. Sorry. But it's only to get them close to the fleet. It's not meant to it's just to get them close so they can get on the Star Destroyer where Kanan is.
Well, then it gets revealed that Ezra and Zeb never destroyed the TIE that they stole. But Sabine, so what are these fuckers doing in there? Hera's got to be like, I've lost complete control of my crew.
Yeah.
First off, these assholes take off and rescue Kanan, who I was trying to leave for dead so I could upgrade to a new fucking...
Right, yeah, I was done with this guy.
A new man with a little bit of a bigger saber. And then you find out that Ezra and Zeb just left the fucking TIE fighter out in the middle of nowhere, and then fucking Sabine goes out there and gives it a new paint job.
Yep.
She needs a creative outlet. So any material will do. Any surface will do.
I guess so.
It looks hilarious that what she did. It looks just ridiculous. Like later on when it lands and that guy goes, "That's not regulation." The other stormtrooper goes, "I like it."
It looks nice.
But you get this great scene then between the Inquisitor and Kanan, and that's where he's talking about Fulcrum, and Kanan's like, I don't know anything, and then he says, he starts trying to prey on Kanan's guilt for Order 66, and that's when he brings up Depa Billaba, and he's like, what were her last words to you when you let her die? And he goes, "Run." So being the nerd I am, I'm like, I'm just gonna go
You
back
haven't
to the
watched
first
this video
episode of
before?
Bad
I
Batch.
thought we watched this before. There's a video on YouTube that lines the two of them up.
Oh, okay. I never saw that.
Okay.
I think what I did was I looked at the Rebels bit when we saw Bad Batch, and I forgot about it. So I went back to see if it was exactly what she says. Yeah, she says, "Run, Caleb. You must run."
There's a side by side where that interrogation is tied with the first few minutes of the Bad Batch where they're being attacked. And she's like fighting them all, and she tells him to run, and then she dies, and it's like it ties in with that conversation. It's pretty fucking.
Do you guys get nostalgia or longing to watch other episodes of stuff when you're watching this? Like when they're referencing that, I wrote that right in my notes, recapping the scene. So like, man, I want to go back and watch Bad Batch again.
Yeah,
and see that, see that whole scene play out again. Even though I know what happens,
right?
But I kind of want to just see it again.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And that was the thing I thought about too, is because there's so many episodes we're trying to get through for our recording. But the whole time I'm really enjoying it. I like the series quite a lot. It's not a perfect series by any means. There's certainly some dips, but overall, there's a reason it was the one that kind of grabbed me the most, more than Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I was just gonna move it along. They send that TIE fighter in with which is pretty ingenious. They don't send it in with just their normal. Let's explode like Sabine would normally just blow everything up with like a pyromaniac. It's like an EMP blast.
Yeah,
knocks out the fucking power and electronics.
Because he's in there, so you can't really start.
Well, no, if it was just an explosion, maybe it would just take out that central area.
Hera was like, "No, load it with bombs." She's still trying to get rid of Kanan.
Put poison arrows.
That's a good idea, Hera.
What do you do to you?
You guys haven't had to spend a night in the quarters, and my quarters with him. It's just terrible.
He stinks. He snores.
Sweating
all
all
over me. A lot
over
of things going on.
You do a big EMP blast, and it takes them out. And you don't notice if you lost propulsion on like a fucking Star Destroyer, wouldn't it start to fucking just brrr, you've seen that before, like a TIE fighter.
You see it in this.
Take a nosedive. It just kind of just floats along normal.
There's after they're out fighting, going away. Isn't this the one where there's 3 and one of them's falling into the?
That's after they had destroyed the reactor or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But
You're right.
like they had lost all power, right?
Okay.
Wouldn't they be like,
If it's pulled into the gravity of the planet, yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would just float.
okay,
You know what I'm
continue on its normal course?
I would think so. But if it's close enough, maybe it's close enough to the planet that it should be sucked down like that. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not a scientist over here.
Not a rocket.
I am, and you're right.
But yeah, they board the destroyer looking for Kanan, and Ezra goes through the vents again
Yep.
because that's what he does.
He's a little street rat, isn't he?
Yep, finds Kanan. They get him out, and that's when they run into that engine room or whatever. And oh, look who's standing
I
there.
love
and
how
seeing
he's like,
Whisper.
"Let me help you," and they walk into the engine room, and the Inquisitor's standing there on the other side of the platform, the catwalk, and he fucking stands straight up, lights his lightsaber.
Ezra lays Kanan down and goes, "Good luck," and runs the other way. I only have to be faster than you. That's
I've seen how this plays out.
And I've seen so many of these battles at this point in time. It seems like the dark side is the fucking way to go because they're always 2-on-1 in Jedi. It's like not even fucking funny.
Because you get kind of a Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Count Dooku or Lord Tyrannus, as we discovered.
Yes. As we discovered.
As we all discovered together, right, guys?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's like 2-on-1 every single fucking time. It's like, come on, man, you Jedi. Who the fuck wants to be a Jedi? Every little kid's like, man, I'm going Sith, bro. I'm fucking going dark side.
But that's the easy path, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can use your emotions. You don't have to bottle them up.
I like it.
They let you be yourself. They let you express yourself in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, but we learn like every Jedi seems to have their own little we know Obi-Wan had a secret lover, Anakin had a secret lover. Soon we'll find out Yoda had like a harem.
Oh, I like how he also says Inquisitor because he's just this arrogant fucker. Like earlier on, he's taunting Kanan about being a coward, and now they show up. And once Ezra joins the mix, he says, "At last, a fight that might be worth my time."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
2-on-1.
arrogant prick.
So it ends up like Ezra gets pushed off the edge like a fucking little emo teenager, but he's actually lying down like behind
Just
him.
like Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he's just
Which,
lying.
if you look at the angle afterward, he looks over the edge. Kanan, he would have easily seen him.
Yeah, there was a
lot going on.
There's like a control tower.
Yeah.
Because I said the same thing. I looked like, well, how did he
it
not
blocked
see
his
him?
view.
And like
Okay.
from where he was standing, he couldn't see
Okay.
where he was at.
All right.
Gotcha.
So Kanan thinks fucking Ezra's dead, and he goes full Jedi mode.
Fucking A, does
Two
he?
sabers.
I have nothing left to fear. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If he was a real Jedi, he wouldn't be letting the sphere control him anyways, right, boys?
It's very true.
True.
Very true.
But I think this is where he becomes a true master.
I do like how the twirly double saber is engaged. And the second he slides those two in there, there's a look on the Inquisitor's face of, oh, fuck, I never thought of that.
No one's ever. I'm gonna be honest with you. No one's ever tried that. Props to you. I mean, hats off to you, sir. Let me just drop myself to.
That makes a lot of sense.
Let me drop myself to my death in shame.
If we could just pause for a minute here. let me rethink my
Hold on,
strategy.
let me try again. Yeah, hold on.
So it gets to the Inquisitor hanging off the ledge. Like I get the sense that he almost commits suicide because he didn't want to
did.
face the wrath of like
No, he
Spoiler
said
alert.
to him that death
is
wasn't.
preferable to something,
Yeah.
some of the things in life that are coming or something like that.
Mhm.
And that's like
There's some things far more frightening than death or something like that.
Yes.
I'm assuming he means Darth Vader
Yes.
or spoiler alert, Anakin Skywalker.
It's called foreshadowing.
Lord Tyrannus.
Lord Tyrannus. I'm glad that they didn't go full on Terminator 2 though, and have him like do the thumbs up as he was falling down into the
Yeah.
lava pit or the explosions.
Edward Furlong crying, no.
Oh man, cheese ball. So yeah, then they escape in the graffiti tie. Hera, Sabine, and Zeb do, and they can't reach Chopper. He hyperspaced out of there because he was talking to Fulcrum a second ago.
Yeah.
She's like, "Who the hell's this?"
Yeah.
He was probably saying a bunch of curse shit. Fuck off, you know.
He's got a dirty
Look,
mouth.
bitch, we're under fire. You need to get your ass here now.
New phone, new
I was
HoloNet
just
phone.
gonna
Who dis?
say.
Yeah, who knows?
But Kanan and Ezra get out in the Inquisitor's TIE fighter, which is pretty badass looking. And then Fulcrum dials up the crew Fulcrum comes in with Chopper. You don't know that she's there yet. And they basically come in and kind of save the day and get them, and they jump into hyperspace together. And they're like, who the fuck's flying the Ghost? And it is?
Dun, dun, dun.
Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yep, good job. Well, first they see Bale, and
Yep.
he's like on a holo, and he's basically telling him there's other rebel cells just so you know. And then Ahsoka comes down the stairs, and I'm sure anybody who had followed all the Clone Wars and then was watching Rebels, they blew up. They exploded their head.
Yeah, and then you get the perfunctionary fucking Rebel fleet that came in, right? It's like the same 7 ships for like 17 movies. So the long fucking like one, and then the one that looks like the one that they escaped in episode 4, Bail Organa,
Tentative, whatever. Yeah,
the one that's taking fire at the opening of New Hope.
Yep, that one.
Yeah.
There's like 2 of those.
Yep.
Like, okay, here comes the Rebels. They're telltale, outdated fucking equipment.
This is just you being like, yeah, I know who this is. It's Luke Skywalker. I recognize these ships.
An X-wing, a green lightsaber, a hand, a black cape. It's gotta
What could it be? It's got to be Plo
Depo Baba. So then, they go back to old Grand Moff Tarkin, back on his ship, and he's like, "Hey, I'm bringing in the fucking big guns.
Yep.
I'm done fucking with you, scabs. You fucking low-level privates. We're bringing in fucking."
I'm done with the police academy.
Yeah. You conscripts are all in for it. We're bringing the fucking new drill sergeant into town. He's really a fucking hard ass.
I'll tell you, I was watching the last 2 episodes with my son. I was like, yeah, sit down and watch some of this. Because he was just kind of, he'd come in, come out, whatever. And I was like, sit down and watch this. And that last thing, when he come walking out, he goes, then he took interest. Out of the whole thing, finally Vader shows up. And he was like, oh. So now I've got him like hook, line, and sinker to watch it with me.
Yeah, in season 2, you're going to get more of that. I mean, I'm not going to give away anything. I can't remember how much you guys have all seen, but it's season 2 ramps it up big time. It's a really good season, and it ends like the finale for season 2 is awesome. So I can't wait to get to that. By the way, quick trivia question for you: can you name all 6 Spectres by number? Go. Spectre 1.
Hera Syndulla.
Nope, that's Kanan.
Okay, Kanan Spectre 1. So she's Spectre 2.
Yep. Spectre 3.
3 would be Sabine.
It would be Zeb.
Chopper.
Chopper's 3.
Chopper's 3.
All right,
Spectre
so 4 Sabine.
Zeb.
Yeah.
Zeb.
Then
5
Sabine.
5 Sabine. 6 Ezra.
We were close. Not
There you
even. Not very at all.
Okay, you're better than us.
Hey, thanks for coming on the show, Bauer Fett. 95%.
We will be doing season 2, but we're going to do a couple episodes in between that. So that'll come out probably in the next, I think it's in October when we start getting back into season 2. So please watch ahead so you can follow along with us. Maybe we'll be done in time, or maybe Jay will watch the entire season on the day we record.
Hey, I thought I'd pull a you.
I know. I do that too. Let's go to the Maul Bag.
Hello there.
You've got mail.
Email number 1 from Mike Laybourne. Again, with all this discussion around whether or not Luke is more powerful than Ahsoka, please can we get a definite answer? Who on the panel is the most powerful, Matt, Jay, or Cole?
Oh, interesting.
I think Mike Laybourne is a Sith Lord trying to pit
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
a little
He
fucking
is.
divide in between us. And we should just all 3
We're
boycott
equals.
him. Yeah, boycott him. Don't answer. Although we all know the real
Skip it.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much do you think Mike Laybourne can bench press?
I was going to vote Cole
Why me?
You like
because you have
powerful-
more focus. I think
would-
Jay and I are more scatterbrained
Disagree with
Oh,
that.
that's true.
I mean, your organizational skills are unrivaled.
because if I didn't, I'd lose track of everything. I think you have the mental acuity to be more powerful than the 2 of us. No offense, Jay.
No, I mean, if you're gonna put me or him mental, yeah, he's David Goggins.
I'm
There
David
you go.
Goggins. Yeah, okay.
So, and not to mention, I'd be last anyway. You guys both regularly handle firearms, so I'm way down the list on powerful. I'm the weakest FACPA.
Don't sell yourself short,
Yeah, don't
man.
say, your arms are very nice. You have nice arms.
Trying to work on those.
We'll send you a lightsaber that changes size.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that.
And learn with that. Yeah.
That'd be fucking
From
badass giveaway.
from 7 Days a Geek to your lady friend.
Thanks for the email, Mike Laybourne. I hope you win the starter saber.
Email number 2 is from Chris Meyer. I was looking at the release dates of Clone Wars and Rebels and noticed Clone Wars was first in 08 and Rebels second in 14. An obvious difference between the two, we talked about this a little bit last episode, is the animation style. Clone Wars is very angular and color shaded, while Rebels is rounder and more cartoonish. As Bad Batch continued more along the Clone Wars style of animation, which do you prefer, Clone Wars or Rebels? And would the Bad Batch be as impressive if it was done Rebel style?
My initial thoughts were the Bad Batch and Clone Wars at the beginning of the Bad Batch and the end of Clone Wars. It was just fucking fantastic. Like That was my first comments on every single one of like season 7 of the Clone Wars at the second half, and then the beginning of the. By the way, the animation on these are fucking through the roof. So that won me over. I like that way better, and I didn't like the clunkiness of the Rebels as much. The shifty and the fast paced and
even
angular,
from Rebels to what they do in the Bad Batch, we were comparing Clone Wars to even the last season to the show and then to Rebels. But I mean, there's a drastic difference in what they can do with lighting, and it almost to the point where it's photorealistic.
In Clone Wars, you have to put in the work to get to it, though. Like, you got to watch those first couple seasons, and then it pays off. Like, we all talked about that. The droid arcs and the struggling with the Clone Wars and getting through them. I don't think you're going to struggle as much.
It was like going home at night and like not telling anyone you still play with little people toys.
or worse, getting caught at work. What are you watching? Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Season 2, Episode 7?
Why are you watching a cartoon? Yeah, I know. It is like that. You're right, though. The Bad Batch animation was one of the best things about it. And the Season 7 of the Clone Wars is fucking amazing. So animation-wise, I would prefer that because it's more pretty and it's easier. Like, it's less kind of clunky. But I think because of the fact that I was so more entrenched in the storyline of Rebels in general than the other, it almost balances them out, sort of, it still kind of gives Rebels the edge just because of the story. Like, I think if you put that story in Clone Wars animation, big boner.
Yeah, and there's also, animation aside, there's a lot going on in Clone Wars.
True.
Like with this, at least you have like one standalone story you're sticking with, and you're seeing everything happening through a character's eyes, where like every episode of the Clone Wars or every arc when they got to it, you're like, oh, we're over here introducing 9,000 new characters, and you're like, oh my God.
And I think that's why the Bad Batch gets a ding for the way it handled all that character coverage and development, is because you were supposed to be a smaller group of people, but Rebels is, and it's all Rebels. So I don't know. To me, that's one of the differences in the story arcs.
Yeah, so far the Rebels have been in every episode of their Rebel show.
Imagine that.
Who would have thunk it?
Anyway, thank you, Chris.
Good email. Good question.
Thank you, Chris. We've got one more factoid here, and this is from neighbor Cole.
Yeah. So the factoid is what I could find on karabast, since we talked about it earlier in the show. Most notably used by Zeb Aurelius, this Lasat expression is often used to express frustration or surprise in dire situations. With the depletion of the Lasat, the phrase isn't as commonly used throughout the galaxy, which is likely why high-ranking Imperials like Agent Callus and others from other worlds closer to the core may not recognize it. Outside of Zeb, his crewmates have adopted the word, but none more heavily than Ezra Bridger. Its use isn't limited to moments where a hyperspace jump leads you directly into the Imperial blockade either. Try it out next time you stub your toe and see if hearing yourself say it aloud makes you feel any better.
Okay.
So it's not a giant shit.
You really appreciate... really illustrates the diversity of the word.
Karabast!
That's all we got for you for fact.
Oh, I just dropped a huge karabast in my pants.
It's a karashart.
I've been known to karabast tweet.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like it.
And we have another factoid, but we're going to hold that till next week's episode.
Okay, really?
So until the next time, thank you for listening.
And never tell us the odds.
In our experience, there's no such thing as luck.
We have spoken.